Hello everyone, this is Admiral Playerovski bringing you Atlantic Fleet, Battle of the Atlantic, continued as Britain. So we have got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, still 9 squares on the tonnage war. We're not really dropping far below this 9, it seems to have plateaued out. We are in week 2 of March 1941, and we have to wait for Scarborough to release our 2 ships so that we can put them where they should be. For now, however, let's see what our first engagement will be. Alright. It's in the East Greenland Sea in sunny weather in week 2 of March 1941. The destroyers Beagle and Brazen, who are escorting a convoy of merchant ship, large freighters, a C2 freighter, a C3 freighter and a troop transport, have... It seems we were the ones attacking. We've intercepted, we've picked up, we've detected in the afternoon the submarine U-199. We have the initiative. Well, this should be quite interesting, I think. Where is U-199? Oh, that's them over there. They're very far away, and I don't like that at all. Oh, for goodness sake. Seriously? This is what we have to do? We are absolutely miles away from them, which doesn't help. We're the ones who saw them. Could we not have got a slightly better starting position, perhaps? Could the destroyers not have come to the other side? Well, it seems clearly not, because we are in the position that we are right now. Is that a light wind? I can't tell, is that... It's not the lightest wind, I think that's a light blue colour. Is it? Yes, it is. It is. Well, I think it is. Unless my eyesight's gone. I'll put the guns halfway across then. I'm not exactly sure which way this could go. We'll use high explosive shells. They're telling us to go to 16 degrees. We will do that. I don't like doing things this way. I think that using torpedoes is a much better way. But nevertheless, open fire. Shoot. Oh, where's the submarine gone? Right, so those were long. Right. Those were long, apparently. Alright, we have some sort of data that we can perhaps use now to do something. 5,300. I do feel still somewhat obligated to try and do something at the very least. Even if we hit them and they dive away and they just disengage. Ultimately, I would still consider that a victory because we managed to save the convoy. That's my main priority. My main priority, believe it or not, is not actually to sink the submarine, it's to save the convoy. But the best way to save this convoy and, future convoys is just to outright sink the target so that, you definitely won't have any trouble courtesy of it again. Shoot! Those were long as well. Well, what can we do? What can we do? They're going to fire at the troop transport is the heaviest, isn't it? 12,000 tons. Of course it is. Seems slightly counterintuitive, but I will turn the troop transport hard to starboard and go into the submarine potentially. Oh my gosh! Absolutely no idea what to do with these merchants. I'll just tell this one to go forward. These guys are actually quite far away, so I'll have you guys actually try and turn and run away. You're really close. I think I'm going to gamble and see if we can potentially sink the submarine by ramming it with a freighter. Yeah. again, there's not really much I can do if the submarine's really close to the ships. Here's their response. Torpedoes fired at the troop transport. No, at the large freighter. And the C2 freighter, which has been sunk. I mean, realistically, was there anything I could have done to prevent that? Well, at least I couldn't see what I could have done. If I'd have turned hard, they would have just hit it amidships, which would have exploded it anyway. And if, well, going forward, that's what happened here. Final damage upon sinking. Nothing was even damaged. Propulsion, steering, and pumps all working fine, apparently. Which isn't really that great, I suppose. If it's going to sink, at least have something be damaged. So now they're saying 13.7, go down 2 degrees. I'll go probably 14.2, let's say. Guns can go about here, maybe. Shoot! No, it's still long. Rather disappointing turn of events. Oh, excuse me. Right, let's go harder port. I'm going to gamble that I'll be close enough to stand by the torpedo tubes. Yes, we are. Right, well, here we are then. Let's put one torpedo right here. That should sink them on the next turn. Again, another hard turn here. That way we're only exposing our bow, really. And so it's not so bad. Although now in my luck, this is still point blank range and I will still lose the troop transport, which is still going to be, what, 20,000 tons, thereabouts? So still not really won, as such. I mean, would you consider that a victory? 20,000 tons of shipping sunk? Here comes a torpedo. Stop! Stop! Yeah. Yeah, and now here comes my torpedo. Moments too late. Not good, because the troop transport is 12,500 tons. Again, nothing even damaged. So why are you sinking then? Can we not turn the pumps on? And it's not even sinking. I mean, I'm sorry, but look at it. The troop transport isn't even sinking. Like, I'm sorry, but it's not doing it. Oh wait, no, maybe it is. Maybe it is. It's a bit like watching the Titanic sink. We're going down by the head. I am kind of tempted to watch it sink, seeing as it is going down a bit like the Titanic, and it is taking its time. You can see definitely the waves rushing up now to the first, well, the lower deck here. There's a bit of a list going on as well, I suppose. Propeller starting to come out. Ever so slightly, yes. I'm going to press on, actually. Action report. On the British side, the destroyers Beagle and Brazen received no damage. The merchant ship troop transport was sunk for 12,400 tons. All of the merchant ship large freighters received no damage. The merchant ship C2 freighter was sunk for 5,500 tons, and the merchant ship C3 freighter was not damaged at all. On the German side, the submarine U-199 was sunk for 1,032 tons. Warship tons sunk on the British side 0. Merchant ship tons sunk on the British side 17,900. Warship tons sunk on the German side 1,032. Merchant ship tons sunk on the German side 0. 1,032 renown earned. Right, let's press on. Oh my goodness. We have in the western approaches in mostly sunny weather, week 2 of March 1941, the destroyers Blanche and Boreas, who are escorting a convoy of merchant ship, large freighters, T2 tankers, a troop transport and a C3 freighter, 2 C3 freighters in fact, have come under attack in the afternoon from the German submarines U-193, U-231 and U-236. The German subs have the initiative. This is going to be tough. This is going to be tough. Oh! They're using rockets. Oh, that was a big drop by the stern. He's going to hit. Now they've straddled us, but they've set us on fire still. And U-236 with torpedoes. Of course, that's what's happened. Wouldn't expect anything else. Right, well, here we are. Destroyer Blanche. How far away are we from any submarines? Which submarine is this, as a matter of idle curiosity? This is U-231, so this one hasn't fired torpedoes. I'm going to assume that this is the one that has. Yes, it is. So where's the other sub? Oh right, we can't see this one, but we can see this other one down here. Right, 9,700, but they're a bit too far away to do anything right now, aren't they? Yes. Right, well, seeing as no torpedoes have been fired, well, not at the Blanche at least. We'll go flank. Do we have any aircraft? What? No aircraft at all. Seriously? Anyone, literally anyone, can anyone explain how in the western approaches the Germans get 2 aircraft and the British get none whatsoever? How does that work? Because I don't see the logic. I'm sorry, but I just don't. I do try and, you know, figure these things out, but that nope, it's just not working. I don't see it. I'm sorry, I just don't see it. Well, I'm guessing they're going to fire torpedoes next, so maybe if I open fire on them, maybe it'll persuade them to go away, perhaps. We're going to probably miss, but nevertheless, let's just try it anyway. Let's see what we can do. On the off chance that we hit them, I mean, in a situation like this, you need to take any advantage that you're given, really. Any possible advantage, even. It's by no means certain that we will have an advantage here. Right, well, shoot! Alright, maybe that'll persuade them to go away. Well, you look quite close. But you're not, are you? Fine, I'll try and distract this submarine over here with this destroyer. Still can't believe we don't have any aircraft out here. We should have aircraft. Why don't we have any? Why? We should have air support in the western approaches, and yet we don't. I mean, I know we're losing 150,000 tons worth of shipping per month, but like, come on. Shoot. We're not losing all of it. Are you the one that's going to get... No, you're the one that's going to get slapped on the next turn. You've already been... Alright. Pumps and AAA with heavy damage already. You're basically on your way out, aren't you then? Well, do you know what? I'm going to have you be a distraction for this submarine over here. Let's take a look at the T2 tanker. Oh wow, I knew that sudden dip by the stern was bad. Propulsion, steering, heavy damage, AAA destroyed entirely. Great. It's yeah, wonderful. Always lovely to see your tanker be completely dead in the water. Mind you, at least the pumps are working. It's a little crumb of comfort, I suppose. But it is exactly that, it's just a crumb. Now I don't know what to do. I'm going to gamble and try and turn away with this tanker. This might be a decision I live to regret, but ultimately, you know, can you really blame me for trying to turn away from danger? Especially if there's no real prospect of, you know, ramming the sub. Because if you could potentially ram it, then... yeah, you could. Oh great, are we going to lose another troop transport? Yes, I think we might, yeah. I'll go 20 degrees. That's not a good angle. No, it's not looking good. If you have 3 subs in the area, it's really not looking good. So, I was about to say it's a clip on the bow, maybe we can survive it. But not with damaged pumps. Not with damaged pumps. So they're going for... I'm guessing that's for the troop transport, but it's not been sunk immediately. So that's kind of good, actually, in a way. Well, I'm going to have to turn in. And... do we fire or not? Well, there's no point firing now, is there? We're going to cease firing now. 6,000. Have they fired any torpedoes? No. Do you know what? Close in and just deal with them in the classic way. None of these near misses are doing any damage, and they're just still here, and anything that potentially, you know, anything that potentially, oh dear me, oh no, anything that potentially gets them to sort of disengage means that there's less of a chance that they sink. Let's just take a look at the damage here. Pumps and AAA with heavy damage. I think that was the same damage as before. So that torpedo hit did precisely nothing, because it didn't damage anything else. T2 tanker. Again, harder port. Please run away as best as you can. C3 freighter. Oh, actually, C3 freighter can go 10 degrees to starboard, just to sort of keep in between those torpedoes. Troop transport. Oh no! 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 "25 degrees to port and hope that you miss everything." C3 freighter will go 20 degrees to port. Oh! How close was that? Extremely close. Almost got us then. It almost got us. Luckily it didn't, but nevertheless, it's too close for comfort, I would say. Far too close. You don't want to be in that sort of situation. Right, harder starboard and stand by the torpedo tubes. 3,500. Can we get this one as well? Over there? Nope, they're 6,000 yards away. It's way too far away. Right, we'll just do a drop and splash for this one then. There we go. So far we've only lost one ship, which I think is not that bad at all. I'm going to do something a little bit risky. I'm going to go harder starboard instead of the less risky harder port. The gamble is that we'll still be at a good enough angle to fire, even though the turn was longer, which we still are. So that gamble has paid off. Oh, we're going to have 2 submarines explode at once, I've just realised. It's one of those relatively rare moments. Oh no! 1.1 knots though, so are we really going to move forward that much? Yep, we're going to move forward just enough to clip it. That's what we're going to do. Of course, that's what we're going to do. Right, well, these have clearly missed, so we can carry on turning away. Over here we've got the C3 freighter. We can just ask you to even turn back a little bit to port 10 degrees. It won't run us into this torpedo. Troop transport. It managed to win this time, but I don't see it winning again. Now what do we do here? I'm guessing there'll be no action from this submarine, so in a way we can pretty much just hard a starboard, I think. Of course, if they fire a torpedo, we're basically, you know, bye-bye. But if they have no action this time, we could potentially save the troop transport. Well, here are the torpedoes. They look relatively alright-ish. Torpedoes from one torpedo from U-236. That's fine though. We can turn. Here come our torpedoes. There they are. So that's 2 out of 3 subs sunk immediately. That's a good thing. I'd say that's a very good thing. Right, seeing as we are 6,000 away, harder port, and let's see where we're at now. 5,300. Do you know what? I think at this point it doesn't really make much sense to fire at them. Oh, hang on. Hang on. We need to run away with you. Had a torpedo heading for us. Unacceptable, really. Oh, the torpedo missed? No, it ran out of steam. That's what happened, I think. Alright. Well, the tanker's still here then. Incredibly, rather. So, seeing as there are no submarines over here now, we can ask you to go... I was going to say we can ask you to go flank and harder starboard, but of course the steering is destroyed. Or rather not destroyed, it's just really heavily damaged. I'm guessing this is the type of heavy damage that just remains heavily damaged. It's basically broken, but they can't actually say it's broken. That's what I think. Because there are different ways of having heavy damage in this game, I've noticed, with certain components. You can have the type of heavy damage where it's not 1 turn to repair, but 2. So you click on your ship, let's say you see that it's got heavy damage, and then on the next turn it's got light damage, and then on the next turn you can use whichever component was damaged. Then there's the other type of heavy damage, which just, you know, you look at it once and it's got heavy damage on, and then you look at it in 5 turns and it's still got heavy damage on, and then you look at it in another 10 turns, it's still got heavy damage on, and you just think to yourself, yeah, this is just going to be permanently heavily damaged. That usually happens when your ship is really damaged and close to sinking anyway, so not really that significant. At that point you're going to be worrying more about the ship as a whole rather than just specific components of it. So we're at 5,200. Oh, I'm going to gamble and say we'll be close enough to do a drop and splash. Yes, we are. Right, well, incredibly, we'll come out of this relatively well, I think. Relatively, I mean, we will have lost 1 ship, but considering there were 3 U-boats and only 2 destroyers and a whole host of merchants to defend, losing 1 merchant I don't think is a completely catastrophic result. Yeah, can we just move everyone forward? No. we will continue to be careful, because I'm not prepared to give away a potentially good ending here by being careless. If I'm going to give away a good ending, it's because there was no other option, or because it was a failed gamble in some way. Is that the last one? Yes. Well, that torpedo's not going to hit anything. No action. Torpedo coming in. What? Knew it was too good to be true. I knew it was too good to be true. Honestly, 4,500, and this is where we end up. We end up miles away from it. Completely, you know, out of position. Well, that's bad. That's really bad. I thought this would be it, and we'd have a very successful, you know, thing. Oh, we've got steering back and propulsion. Good. But the good news is we are getting these bigger ships turned away more. So even if they do decide to have a crack at someone, they're not really going to be, you know, everyone's going to be very far away, and also it's a fairly bad angle relative to them. Apart from, of course, the troop transport, which is basically heading straight for them. Yeah, that's not a good thing. I don't like that. You won't crash if I do this, right? No. Here comes their old torpedo, but they're going to do a new one now. This one could be disaster potentially for us. Yeah, look at ours. Way past them. Right, I'm going to do a port turn and hope that this time we can get one of our torpedoes away as well. Right, 2,700. This has to work now. It's got to work. Right, it has to work. If this doesn't work, we're potentially losing the troop transport, and I would have given away a potentially good ending. Because if it's like... I mean, it's not like losing several thousand tons of shipping is good, but if it's like 20,000, then that's really not good. Mind you, losing 20 is not as bad as losing 30. And losing 30 is not as bad as losing 40, but you get the idea. You just want the amount lost to be zero, ideally. If zero is not possible, then as close to zero as possible, which in this case will probably end up being about 17,000. Of course we're going to lose the troop transport. Is there anything we can do to avoid this? Harder port? Have we stuck the tail out too much there? Yeah, we're going to get hit on the stern, I think. Yeah, it's going to just about clip us on the stern. But then again, if I didn't do that, I would have got hit on the bow. Maybe 25 degrees would have been better, or 20. Here it comes. Of course, yep. No surprise there. And now, of course, moments too late. As before with the previous engagement, we sink the submarine. Yeah, that's not really much of a, you know, of a consolation prize, but here it is. Action report. On the British side, the destroyer Blanche and the destroyer Boreas received no damage. One merchant ship large freighter was sunk for 7,800 tons. One merchant ship T2 tanker received medium damage. One merchant ship large freighter received no damage. One T2 tanker received no damage. One C3 freighter received no damage. One merchant ship troop transport was sunk for 12,400 tons, and one merchant ship C3 freighter received no damage. On the German side, the submarine U-193 was sunk for 1,032 tons, and the submarines U-236 and U-231 was sunk for 800 tons each. Warship tons sunk on the British side 0, merchant ship tons sunk on the British side 20,200. Warship tons sunk on the German side 2,632, merchant ship tons sunk on the German side 0, 2,632 renown earned. Canary Islands, sunny weather, week 2 of March 1941. The heavy cruiser Exeter with medium damage and the destroyer Vanek are escorting a merchant ship Liberty freighter, and they have come under attack at noon from the submarine U-235. U-235 with the initiative. Torpedoes have been launched at the Liberty freighter, I'm guessing. Yes, they have. The Liberty freighters are 14,000 tons, aren't they? Yes. And they're also very painfully slow. Well, that's unfortunately how that goes. Maybe we have air support. Maybe. Although probably not. Would we have air support in the Canary Islands? Would we or would we not? Nope. We do not. Right, well in that case we will have to just use our guns. Obviously fail at that as usual because, well, that's usually how it goes when I try and use the guns. Nevertheless, try and do it. Try and do it. Maybe they'll run away that way. Shoot! Alright, the elevation was not bad. Are we going to do anything at all, or is that going to be it already? I'd like to think if we do a hard starboard turn we could get in between them. Oh, I'm not sure if that's good enough. I'm not sure if that's good enough. Well, we have to worry as well about the Vanek potentially getting torpedoed as well. So the wind blew us a bit too much. I'll go about here this time then. 15.6 was actually not bad. 2 degrees less. Shoot! Alright, not bad, not bad. One more hard turn. Yeah, we will have avoided them. So the first salvo has been avoided. Not sure about follow-up attacks. Nope, they're not running away. Even if they dive away, and then I depth charge them, and then we still, like, they just escape with light damage, that's still going to be good because we will have saved the Liberty freighter. And ultimately, it's all about saving the merchants. You want to be saving the merchants. That's what we're going to be doing. If I go to about 12.3 maybe this time, or even 12.2. Shoot! No, rubbish. Nowhere near. The annoying thing is there's not much I can do, because there's no way I can turn away in time, because they're going to have another torpedo prepped immediately. There it is. And, well, I can't exactly... Well, I don't want to go forward because that puts me in more danger. Which you obviously don't want to do. Yeah, I'm going to cease firing now. No point firing at them if they're 5,000 yards away. Here's a torpedo that's heading basically straight for us. Can I potentially go 20 degrees to starboard and maybe that clears it? Or it clips the stern and blows me up? No, it hits us amidships. Probably damaging the pumps in the process, but we'll check that in just a moment. Right, we're 4,300 yards away. Stand by the torpedo tubes, it's very much needed now. We need to make sure that we send the torpedo out and that it hits on the next turn. I mean, it's not guaranteed that the Liberty freighter sinks now. It's not guaranteed. So, maybe we'll get away with it. Possibly. What has been damaged? Nothing. Oh, that's, you know, pretty good. Well, let's turn back to port, seeing as there's that. Here comes the torpedo. What? Oh my gosh, this is the second time this has happened. This is literally the second time it's happened. Why? Why does this happen? Why is this game so rigged against me? I'm less than 4,000 yards away and look what's happening. I don't understand this at all. I mean, we were at 5,000 before. 3,200. Is that a two-turn shot as well? Honestly. If we're 5,000 yards away, please just tell me. Just tell me, don't tell me. Oh yeah, we're at 4,000 yards, and in reality, it's a two-turn shot. Just tell me, look, you're not close enough. All right, maybe there is some justice after all if this works. All right, that's. Alright, I'll take it because we managed to save the Liberty freighter. Look at the perilous situation this was in though. If it wasn't for that torpedo, well, there's no way you can dodge that. It's heading, that is slapping you either on your left or right cheek. There's no way that's... There's no way we're avoiding that. Not at 10 knots. But nevertheless, we got the result that we would have probably got had the other torpedo hit anyway. Action report on the British side. The heavy cruiser Exeter ends with medium damage, the destroyer Vanek ends with no damage, and the merchant ship Liberty freighter received light damage from a torpedo impact amidships. I probably disagree. I think it was more than light damage, but nevertheless. On the German side, the submarine U-235 was sunk for 800 tons. Nothing sunk in either category on the British side. Warship tons sunk on the German side 800, merchant ship tons sunk on the German side 0, 800 were now earned. Right, we are in week 2.5 of March 1941. We have 4 ships in Scarborough Flow. Ajax? No, Skeena. I'll send Skeena back to the UK then. Ajax has got 2 more turns left. Right, I'm going to check how long this episode has been going on for. If it's long enough, I will... well, I'll wrap things up. My trusty recorder says 38 minutes, so I will be wrapping things up here. Have we still got 9? Have we recovered one of the squares in the tonnage wall? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yes, it is. I want it to be 10. I want to get back to 10, but not quite. Not quite. Let's check the stats. 19 naval vessels sunk for Britain for almost 100,000 tons. Merchant sunk has gone up slightly. We're above 2.9 million tons. Naval vessels sunk for Germany. We are almost at 10 to 1 kill ratio. 19 to 188. If we can get 188 turned into 190 whilst keeping the 19, that's 1 to 10. Almost 400,000 tons sunk. Allied merchant being sunk per month is 154,000. So, on the one hand, it's bad because, well, it's 155,000 tons basically. On the other hand, it's not so bad because things could be so much worse. So, I suppose it's your judgment. Is this a good figure to have at this stage in the war, or is it a completely abysmal figure? Or perhaps somewhere in between, I don't know. ships sunk or lost on both sides. The British list not expanding at all this episode. German list, of course, has expanded. We have added several submarines into that list. And I think that is all from Admiral Playerovski for this video. If you enjoy the content, if you're enjoying this series, then please do leave a like and please do subscribe. It really helps me out. If you have anyone who's interested in Atlantic Fleet or the Navy, then perhaps consider showing them my channel. Thank you for watching this video. I hope to see you in my next video. Bye bye for now.